You don't have to worry, and you don't have to be afraid. Joy comes in the morning, and troubles, they don't last always. For there's a friend named Jesus who will wipe your tears away. And if your heart is broken, just lift your hands and say, my life is in your hands. Good morning, good afternoon, or good evening, whichever time of day you find your ears. Listen to the sound that is flowing from your speakers. This is CJ, CEEJAY. Welcome back to CJ's Spiritual Sports segment, HBCU edition from the 2017-18 football season, as I sprinkle a little spirituality in your sports. It's your uncle, your next door neighbor looking out for you, and your shoulder when you need to lean. Without further delay, let go. Week 7 kicked off in the MEAC with 6 games on the gridiron, starting with Savannah putting up 28 points on the board, but were manhandled by Morgan State's 48 points as Elijah Staley threw for 220 yards and not one, and not two, but 3 TDs. Tyrell Maxwell of Gardner Webb ran amok over North Carolina Central's defense for 165 yards and 2 scores, but guess what? It wasn't enough as Central outlasted G-Dub 24-17 as Chauncey Caldwell threw for 333 yards and 2 scores. Over in Dover, Delaware, Howard dismantled, distinguished, and decimated. Alliteration, I love it. Delaware State 52-23 as Cam Newton's little brother Kalen was little Superman himself with 285 passing yards with 2 TDs, and he also rushed for 81 with one going for 59 long yards. Meanwhile, in my old stomping grounds in Norfolk, Hampton sneaked past Norfolk State 16-14 as Shea McKenzie rushed for 2 TDs. Over on the hills of Tallahassee, Florida, North Carolina A&T cruised past Florida A&M 31-20 as quarterback Lamar Raynard tossed the rock for 215 yards and a trifecta of TDs. And finally, Bethune-Cookman University eked out a close one 12-9 over South Carolina State as kicker Uriel Hernandez saved the day with 4 field goals. There were only 5 games in the SWAC as Alcorn State muscle passed Prairie View A&M 31-24 as Noah Johnson only rushed for 5 yards but had 2 TDs. Alabama A&M literally spanked Mississippi Valley State 49-14 as quarterback Damian May accounted for 2 passing scores and 2 rushing scores. Talk about putting in work. Wow. Texas Southern celebrated their 90th anniversary, but it was spoiled by a 23-16 defeat against Alabama State with 2 passing touchdowns from Darrell Pearson Jr. of the Hornets. Meanwhile, Central State put 40 points on the board against 35 points from Arkansas Pine Bluff and was victorious behind 334 passing yards from Trent Mays and a score. And finally, Jackson State will stay stuck on 0 wins after they were crushed by Tuskegee 33-7 with 2 passing TDs from Jamarcus Ezel. Week 7 standings in the MEAC has North Carolina A&T on top and undefeated, followed by Central, Hampton, Howard, Bethune-Cookman, and Norfolk State. In the SWAC East, Alcorn State is on top of the mountain, followed by Alabama A&M and Mississippi Valley State, and in the West, Grambling is undefeated with Prairie View close behind. This sports segment is dedicated to my good friend in the state of Georgia, as I pray that God will shift things on your behalf and show you that He is still in control and never will leave you nor forsake you. Make sure you follow me on Twitter at IamCJJoseph and like me on Facebook at CJJoseph21, and tune in next time to CJ Sports, where I will sprinkle a little spirituality in your sports. Until the next time, be blessed, and remember, you don't have to worry and you don't have to be afraid.